Our lead hero Ichiro Inuyashiki is shown to be an old man who is struggling with his health. He takes his family to a new house that he's built for them. However, his children are not happy with it as it is too small. His daughter Mary in particular is very skeptical. The family goes out to grab a bite, while Inuyashiki continues to be miserable as his financial situation is not very good. He is shown to be very unhappy with his life till he finally finds some comfort in a dog he finds abandoned on the road. He names her Hanako and brings her home, but his family is not on board with the idea, so he keeps Hanako in his room to avoid any drama. Now he goes to the doctor for a follow-up report on his health, but it doesn't go well as he learns that he has stomach cancer and has only 3 months left to live. He tries to call his family members to give them the news, but all of them ignore him without any hesitation. Feeling dejected, Inuyashiki sits alone by the swing before going back home. He tries to talk to his wife once he's back, but he only complains about Hanako pooping in the house and threatens to throw her away if this behavior continues. That night, Inuyashiki tearfully tries to leave Hanako, but she follows him back to a park and he hugs her immediately upon realizing his mistake. Then he comes across a young boy named Hiro Shishigami, and suddenly they are attacked by an alien spaceship. Both their bodies are destroyed, so the aliens decide to fix them up quickly by using their weapon system. Inuyashiki wakes up the next day completely unharmed and doesn't seem to recall what happened last night. However, he starts to feel extremely thirsty and his health problems seems to have magically gone away. Later at home, steam starts coming out of his arm, and it transforms into a deadly weapon. It spits out some soup he had consumed the previous day, and then Inuyashiki learns that he has been transformed into a combat robot. He finally remembers what happened and figures that even Hiro must have experienced the same transformation. As he comes to terms with his new powers, Inuyashiki is also able to hear voices of people nearby. One of these voices happened to be a poor man getting bullied by a bunch of kids who are using their firecrackers to burn him. After some initial hesitation, Inuyashiki decides to step up and comes to the rescue. It's a little awkward at first as he gets beaten up by the gang, but then his weapons activate while he's passed out and the firepower scares the kids away. His programming also taps into the online database and uploads the video of the bullies harassing the man all over the city along with their identities. Inuyashiki wakes up and refreshes himself with water as the stranger thanks him. He feels grateful to have saved a life and finds purpose for his existence. At school, Hiro grows worried for his friend Ando Naoyuki, who has been bunking school recently due to his bullies. He goes to visit him and talks about his favorite manga, after which he shifts his attention to a slasher on the loose that has killed 8 people. Hiro jokes around with Ando, whom he playfully refers to as Choco. After he's done playing games, he shows him his robot body. Ando is fascinated by this, and then Hiro shows off his powers by killing a crow in front of him, using a finger gun that leaves no trace of a gunpowder. Hiro goes on to reveal that he has a huge variety of powers, but he uses them for childish pranks and wreaks havoc on the roads by misdirecting traffic. This behavior begins to worry Ando, and he fears that his friend is no longer who he used to be. However, Hiro reassures him that he won't hurt him and rather encourages Ando to come back to school. Ando suggests that Hiro should use powers for good and become a superhero, but he isn't interested in that, and instead, he offers to kill his bullies for him, if that's what it takes to bring him back to school. He leaves and heads out to make a plan with his father, but Ando fears that this attitude is going to get the better of him. His suspicions are proven almost immediately, as Hiro visits a random house and kills the mother who is cooking a meal. After that, he terrorizes the father and son before killing them as well, and he is shown to enjoy this kind of sadistic behavior. The daughter arrives soon after, and is shocked to see what has happened. Hiro appears and tells her that he is responsible for all of this. As she weeps with sadness, Hiro asks her about her favorite manga. She is completely broken down and begs him not to kill her, but he shamelessly tortures her just for fun. Inuyashiki activates his hearing and listens to her screams, so he rushes to the scene, but is held up by traffic on the way. Unfortunately, by the time he gets to the house, it is too late and he breaks into tears. That's when he comes across Hiro, who shoots him without hesitation. But Inuyashiki gets up almost instantly and goes to confront him. Before they can face off, Hiro flies away from the scene, and Inuyashiki figures that he is the same boy from the park. While Inuyashiki tries to deal with his failure to save his family, Hiro tries to figure out why he wasn't able to kill him with his gun. Later, Hiro chills with Ando, who gets a paper cut in the middle of their chat. Hiro heals his finger instantly, after which he reveals he can also cure fatal diseases such as cancer. Later at night, a gang bullies an innocent man and Inuyashiki comes to his rescue. The gang ridicules him at first, but then he proceeds to give all of them a beatdown and saves the man's life. After this, Inuyashiki activates his hearing and learns of a family suffering from a house fire, but they are located far away from where he currently is. He realizes that he should also have the ability to fly, as he had seen Hiro do it, so he tries to figure a way to activate his thrusters. After a short struggle, he succeeds and quickly gets the hang of his new abilities before he can make his way to the burning house. Luckily, he manages to save the family before it's too late and asks them not to mention anything about him to the police. The next day, Hiro forcefully brings Ando to school, promising to protect him if anything goes wrong. Ando gets bullied again, but this time Hiro stands up to the leader and tells him to get lost. The bullies ridicule him at first, but then he hurts the leader and makes him promise never to harass Ando again. However, this isn't enough for Hiro, and he proceeds to kill all the bullies in front of Ando, completely terrifying him in the process. He goes on to explain his skills and tries to tempt his friend with the endless possibilities awaiting them. However, Ando isn't on board with his intentions and says he can't be friends with someone who kills people. He tells Hiro to never see him again, and he surprisingly agrees without any hesitation. Later in the day, Inuyashiki comes across a wounded cat and manages to trigger his healing powers in order to save it. Realizing his new abilities, Inuyashiki visits a nearby hospital and starts to heal all the patients inside. Meanwhile, Hiro continues to kill innocent people without any motive. Now we are introduced to a merciless Yakuza boss named Samejima, who likes to assault his victims. Then we meet a girl named Fumino, who spends some quality time with her live-in boyfriend Satoru. They relax at home and he suggests getting married, to which he readily agrees and hugs him as they talk about having kids. However, she catches the eye of Samejima, who instructs his men to have her kidnapped later on. Fumino wakes up drugged inside his secret hideout and tries to defend herself against him using his katana sword. After an initial struggle, she manages to wound Samejima and escapes from him to get back to Satoru. She tells him what happened and they discuss going to the cops, but they are attacked by Samejima and his gang soon after. Satoru tries to reason with him by offering a bribe, but gets choked after Samejima insults his appearance. That's when Inuyashiki appears and takes down the other gang members. He grabs onto Samejima and tries to break his ribs, but gets shot in the head multiple times and is knocked out. He wakes up after some time and finds Satoru next to him, seemingly dead. Inuyashiki tries to heal him, but realizes that he can't bring the dead back to life. However, he doesn't give up and uses CPR to miraculously bring Satoru back to life. They learn that Fumino has been kidnapped, so Inuyashiki tracks down Samejima's location using his tech powers. He reaches the spot, walks through Samejima's guards, after which he confronts the villain. Despite getting shot multiple times, Inuyashiki simply knocks down his opponent and demands to see Fumino. The gang arrives and shoots at him, thus triggering his inner defense mechanism. He uses his weapons to cripple the gang members, making sure that they can never harm anyone again for as long as they live. After this, he walks up to Samejima and learns of Fumino's location. He rescues her immediately and takes her back to Satoru. The couple is finally reunited, and it allows Inuyashiki to breathe a sigh of relief. The school murders are covered in the news, and Ando starts to lose his peace over this. He goes online and comes across stories of hospital miracles that have been caused by Inuyashiki. Ando realizes that he can team up with Inuyashiki in order to stop Hiro, but he doesn't know how to find him. That's when he remembers that both the robots should be able to hear everything from miles away and starts crying for help to get Inuyashiki's attention. His plan works out and he makes his acquaintance with Inuyashiki. Ando expresses admiration for his actions and offers to help him stop Hiro, even if it means having to kill him. At school, a girl named Shion tells Hiro that she has feelings for him, but he simply thanks her and leaves. He goes to meet his dad, who has already started a new family after leaving him and his mom. Now Inuyashiki and Ando begin training in a junkyard. Ando tries to make him access his weapons, and they succeed after an initial struggle. Meanwhile, Hiro's mom tells him that she has pancreatic cancer and there's nothing the doctors can do for her. Hiro gets emotional and hugs his mother, after which he begins to heal her. The next day, Hiro's mom tells him that her cancer has miraculously vanished. He takes her to see a new house that he plans to buy with the money he's stolen under the guise of a day trading. Now, Ando accompanies Inuyashiki as he cures more people in the hospital, and it makes him emotional, but they have to run away to avoid getting caught. As Hiro and his mom watch the news about the murders, she laments that she would die with Hiro if ever he committed such despicable crimes. Hearing this, he vows to stop his killing spree. Unfortunately, the cops come to arrest him the next day and hold him down in front of his mom. And that was part 1 of Inuyashiki. I'll cover part 2 if you guys enjoyed this video, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye for now!